Following all the other mid-range devices that have come out in the past couple of weeks, there's another one in the office. This is a Samsung Galaxy Victory 4G LTE. I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com. Let's take a look at it in a full unboxing. But first, special thanks to our partners at Best Buy Mobile for giving us devices like this for use in our One Paw Bandit giveaway game, which we turn around and give to you on the site at instantwin.phonedog.com. When you go into Best Buy Mobile, you'll walk out working. They'll help you set up your email, your web, your contacts, your settings, all that stuff. So when you walk out the door, you're good to go at Best Buy Mobile. It's time for Victory. Let's unbox it. Victory! At least it's in the office. The Samsung Galaxy Victory 4G LTE is here, available on Sprint and packing 4G LTE capabilities on the nation's third largest wireless carrier. Now this thing is very similar in a lot of ways to the Samsung Galaxy Stellar on Verizon, both in processor speed, a 1.2 gigahertz dual-core Snapdragon S4 CPU. It's got a 4-inch display, a 5-megapixel camera, a gigabyte of RAM, and it's packing Android 4.0 with TouchWiz. So you can see 4G LTE speeds, 5 megapixels. Package is 100% recyclable as a result of Sprint's environmental efforts. Special thanks to Sprint as well for providing us with a review unit that we can bring over and take a look at and show you on camera what it looks like. So 2,100 milliamp hour battery here, and design-wise, a little bit different, actually quite a bit different from the Galaxy Stellar on Verizon, which we unboxed last week. In the box, you get the Get Started guide, all you need to know to get going. Vamos todo lo que tienes que saber para empezar. You got your recycling bag, important information for the Samsung Galaxy Victory, and then you've got an AC adapter module and a USB cable, typical stuff out of the gate, and unfortunately that is about it. You don't get any earbuds or any other additional accessories, but you do get the typical Samsung AC adapter here in the box, and you get the typical USB cable as well in bags that are surprisingly hard to open on camera. USB cable there, typical Samsung stuff. As you can see, we're going to throw all that back in the box because you want to see the phone. You don't care what comes in the box, with the exception of maybe the charger, so you can actually charge the device. But here we go. 1.2 gigahertz dual-core Snapdragon S4 CPU. Actually a pretty nice design here. The silver looks nice. The chrome gives it a nice look and feel. You've got a button over here on the side. You've got your volume rocker over here on the left spine, your micro SD card slot on the left spine as well. 5 megapixel camera on the back with a flash. 3.5 millimeter headphone jack up top. Power button as well. And then you've got a menu button, a home button, and a back button down here at the bottom. Sprint logo powering up now. 4-inch display, so if you're coming from something like the iPhone or the older iPhone with a 3.5-inch display, you're going to be perfectly fine. You're going to be used to that, and you'll get a little bit more screen real estate to boot. That said, if you're coming from something with a 4.3 or 4.5 or even something larger, maybe the Galaxy Note, whatever the case may be, you may have a hard time going from that over to this. That said, here's the notifications bar. You can see it's got the brightness indicator over there in the top corner, and you've got your typical Sprint network ID. Let's turn Wi-Fi off. Go ahead and get that out of the way. And then you got these, which is funny because these look like physical buttons, but they're actually capacitive buttons. But it kind of throws you and makes it look kind of funky. So here's your phone, very similar here. System update already. We'll install that later and save that for the full review. But here's the phone. Looks very much like the Galaxy Stellar. Feels a lot like the Galaxy Stellar. Design-wise is obviously different, and then the stuff you get out of the gate is different as well. You get some Sprint stuff pre-installed in this. Not too crazy by any means, but you get Sprint Hotspot, Sprint ID, Sprint Zone, and then visual voicemail as well. For the premium version, there is an additional fee, and then Google Wallet out of the gate. Of course, widgets over here also in typical Samsung TouchWiz, at least the new version of TouchWiz, typical look and feel. And then you've got downloads over there. I did not mean to do that. Let's go back and do this, bam, and see what we can do. No downloaded applications, which is probably why that's not showing up. Seems to be relatively responsive. The buttons down here are a little bit funky to work with just because, again, you're expecting in your mind for these to be physical buttons, just the way that they're laid out on the device, and they're not. They're capacitive buttons. So a little bit different there. Out of the gate, you get the standard keyboard options here. I don't like how this one's done this. Take a look here at the attachment button over here on the side. I'd much rather have it down here below the chin so you can have the added screen real estate to stretch these text boxes out a little bit more to the left, so you'd have more room to type there. That said, Samsung's keypad here, and then you've got Google Voice typing as well as part of Samsung's keypad. So portrait to landscape transitions relatively quick here. Overall, a pretty zippy device for somebody that doesn't want to spend the full $200 to upgrade to the Samsung Galaxy S3 or the full $200 to upgrade to the HTC Evo 4G LTE. This could be a decent device for them where they'll actually get 4G LTE capabilities out of the gate for a cheaper price. So internet browser right here, we'll take a look at it. Typical look and feel here with your bookmarks up the top, and then we'll go back And then we'll take a look at Phone Dog. And you'll notice actually that the font looks a little bit different as well, though that may be something that's customized, or customizable rather, in the menu. I'll take a look just to make sure between now and the full review. Pinch to zoom, relatively responsive, even though the page isn't loading fully just yet. Sprint's 3G is not the best in the Charlotte metro area. That said, it's loading a little faster than it was a couple of weeks ago. I'm assuming they made some network enhancements. That combined with network vision prior to the DNC coming into town. So I've been traveling a lot for work, haven't been able to take advantage of all the benefits from that. So take a look at the button on the side. It is a physical camera button, and you know how much I love a good physical camera button. 5 megapixel camera here, nothing too crazy. And then it allows me to focus and take the picture, but it doesn't look to have, it does not have a half press button to focus without taking the picture, unfortunately. What you do get here that's different though, this is a very jelly bean thing here. You know, if you looked at the Galaxy Note 2 when I did the videos, the brightness was right there on the screen alongside with the update. So it's very much a jelly bean thing, but rolling over onto some of their ice cream sandwich devices, this brightness indicator here in the notifications bar. You may love it, you may hate it, but it is there alongside of nothing else. It looks to be about, it looks to be custom Samsung other than that. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com for continuing coverage on the Samsung Galaxy Victory 4G LTE on Sprint. If you're in a market that supports it, 4G LTE available on this device on Sprint. You can get fast data speeds for a cheaper price than the Evo 4G LTE or the Galaxy S3. Keep it locked on the site for continuing coverage. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, like us, enter the greatest tech giveaway ever too. Find out more about it at facebook.com/PhoneDog. Hit me up on Twitter as well. Let me know what you think of these devices. Is the gap narrowing between entry-level devices or mid-range devices like this and high-end devices thanks to dual-core processors and more? Let me know. PhoneDog_Aaron on Twitter, Facebook, facebook.com/PhoneDogAB. Thanks much for watching. As always, we'll see you next time.